From global corporations to veteran entrepreneurship, today with me is Brandon Fertig. He is a corporate strategy, Philips Healthcare and MedTech Vets ambassador. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And welcome to the MedTech world.
Yeah. Oh, I love it here. I'm glad to be here.
So let's start talking about your expertise and how all of this is translating into the mentorship and the leadership role that you have today. You have a background that we all want to know. So let's talk about who is Brandon.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's a great question. I love that everything that we do in life sometimes is who we are is actually what we get to do in real life and get to do as a career. And I think MedTech is one of those things where no matter who you are, you're affected by it. Your family members are affected by it. You yourself are going to eventually be affected by it. So whatever you do to contribute to that community is life-changing, not just for you and for your family, but you're changing the world. And I felt that way about being prior military as well. The idea that you could go and do something and have an impact on the global community and not just yourself or your family. It becomes very selfless, and it's very rewarding in that sense because there's not a lot of jobs I think you can say that about. So about me, I came from the military, did 20 years in the Air Force, in the United States Air Force, and got to serve in a lot of different capacities. And one of those was in medical. I flew in the Air Force for 15 years, and that included global operations. So it took us to the far reaches of the earth. I've been to 60 different countries. It took me to places where it tested me and pushed me to my limits, but in doing so, it really helped me become the person I am today. And by doing that, I realized the value in service. And so leaving the military, I then was able to transition into Philips Healthcare. And MedTech is, again, about serving your communities, serving the people that are going to benefit now and well into the future. And that's probably the most rewarding thing that I could give you about me. That was really where, we all need careers. We need things that push us, motivate us, make us who we are. But medical technology is one of the few things I think you can actually get everything you want out of your career. You can have the purpose and the drive and the success and impact the globe, impact the world.
Indeed.
And that's my favorite part about it.
With your military background, how do you navigate challenges in the medtech and the healthcare space today?
Yeah, the military was unique in the sense when you first start out, you're just being told what to do, and that is the status quo. You're just doing the things, the bare minimum, to get them done, and then you're checking the box. As you grow in service and you start to manage more, you grow, and this could be true for our MedTech community as well. As you grow as a person, you start to innovate. You start to decide, I need to make a bigger impact. The status quo isn't enough. Now I want to lead. And that's when you become, in my case, I became a servant leader. I studied that to understand how I could remove barriers for people. Leadership wasn't just a concept for me to be the boss. I wanted to be someone who could bring people up with me. I wanted to be someone who could perpetuate a vision and to drive success for others in that sense that, again, it's not just a job anymore. What are we doing to bring people along with us? And the military is very mindful of that, and I think they train us in that way. But I think also it has to do with your personal drive, and that drive came and was, I guess it was brought to light that this is where I wanted to go through the military. It gave me an environment to be the person that would try to innovate and try to drive things to success. And then in that transition, I brought that with me to Philips and MedTech.
Yeah, and the project that currently Philips Healthcare is managing, you are building new service capabilities. How do you see in this space MedTech companies and corporates meeting in between in the ecosystem? What are the opportunities for both of them in the projects that you are currently leading?
Yeah, that's a great question. I see this one through a lens of someone who's like a startup. You're young and you're new. You're trying to get people to join you, and there's this bell curve of acceptance of a product or a startup, and then you need people who are change agents, people who can move the process forward. And a lot of times we all want to be leaders in what we do, but a lot of times we just need someone who's there, that's reliable, and can be that change agent to get everybody else on the bell curve. There's this video on YouTube where a gentleman's dancing around on a hill, and he's by himself and he's having a great time, and then there's this one person that joins him, and it's used in leadership classes, and he joins him, and when that one person comes, the whole crowd comes. You get the whole bell curve. And you'll have outliers, you'll have people that don't want to accept the change, they don't want to move and grow with the team, but the leadership piece is the person who sets the vision. But I always saw myself as the number two. I want to be the person who perpetuates someone's vision to become something greater than it ever could have been by itself. We really need a lot of number twos in the world today. I think that also lends itself into MedTech. When you want to do something, you need to become a change agent for others, because you might also have a vision, but if everybody just had visions, nothing would ever get done. So I think it's important to be the number two.
Indeed. We were talking earlier off the record about trends for 2026. Companies with new technologies. From Philips Healthcare, is there any project that at the moment is first coming to your mind that is looking to succeed 2026?
Yeah, I really have to stick with some of the things I know about Philips, and we have a lot of public releases of things that we're doing to innovate. Some of those things that we're doing are there's something called the ROC, which is a Radiology Operations Control Center, and here's where I think our future is. If we can create opportunity for people who are highly talented, because the talent pool is getting smaller and the work is growing. How do we capture and use technology to grab that talent pool, centralize it, and then get it out to everybody else? Think of it like a star topology, or think of it like a hub and spoke. You have the hub of people who may be in Dallas-Fort Worth. They might be in San Diego. They might be somewhere where there's a lot of talent, but rural America or parts of Europe that are not as easily accessible. There's opportunity for us to grow those communities in smaller ways by taking and centralizing all the talent who can look at multiple customers or multiple patients. And as we're a vendor, so our customers are our patients. But we look at, if there's a central location for radiologists, for example, we can put a hub like in Dallas-Fort Worth. We create the ROC, which is a room with all the monitoring systems that we need for that radiology department for a certain hospital. And then they can have multiple locations where they see patients remotely. So the remote technology has now been a force multiplier for us to be able to take technology, use it to benefit the community who are overworked, let's be honest, and working these long hours. And we can put a few people on those ROCC locations, and then you can have a rotation of people who are specialists. Then you don't need to have them driving out to remote sites all the time. We can do that. America is such a vast place when you go out and you just drive. Compared to Europe, it's a whole different way of thinking, and we have to be cognizant of how vast our communities are. So if we can centralize a lot of the talent and then get it out remotely, that's the technology. Those are the people that are going to make the change, I think, in the next 5 years. I think additional to that is how do you capture AI and use AI to your advantage? And I don't want to go too far down that, but we all know that AI is not just a buzzword anymore. We are using it to find illnesses where we might have missed them as a human factors problem. So now the AI, the technology is making it easier for the doctor to not have to study an image, but letting AI do the work, and then centralizing that work. We then have a better success rate for the people who are doing the work.
Indeed. Beyond Philips Healthcare, you also have a very nice project close to your heart, which is MedTech Veterans.
Yeah.
How this is started, and why do you see the need to jump into this project?
Yeah. So coming out of the service, we have a huge wave of people right now coming out of service after 20 years of the attacks on 9/11, the attacks in Europe, and this idea that there's this need for veterans to be all over the world. Those people are all coming home, and they're leaving service after sometimes 20 years. So this is that generation, and I was one of them. And all I wanted to do was serve and travel abroad to be a change maker for, my own vision was to be in the Air Force and try to help where I could. I got a wonderful opportunity to be involved in humanitarian aid, and that really opened my eyes to medical technologies that I've seen outside of the U.S. And where I see things going now is we're going to have this whole wave of veterans, and it's not just Americans. I have several people that I've talked to here who are from the UK. They're from different parts of Europe, that their veteran community are also leaving service and leaving that government side. They need an opportunity to have a chance to prove their skills in a different space. And so a lot of times you think, well, they'll just end up in defense, or they'll end up in contracting or things of that nature, where they're kind of they're kind of just limited to what they can do. What we're doing with MedTech Vets is we're opening up that opportunity for them to be something more than they were on paper. Let me give you a good example. I flew in the Air Force, and all of that stuff is very regulated. We use the FAA, the Federal Aviation side of the house, who watched how we regulated aircraft and all those operations. MedSpace is the same way. We're highly regulated by the FDA. There are quality management systems in place that we are that have to check the box to make sure we're doing everything we can for patient safety. I liken it to if you're flying an airplane, you don't have an opportunity to pull over and change your tire. The airplane is going to come out of the sky if it's not done properly the first time. The healthcare is the same way. We need to be making sure that patient care is priority. Patient safety and quality is priority at Philips, by the way. And we are making sure that those things that we're doing matter at a quality management level. And so coming out of the military, we've been able to pitch that to companies to say, look at veterans, look at what they bring, look at the opportunities that come with their knowledge, their skill sets. Not just hire a veteran just because they're a veteran. We're not about that. We want people to look at veterans because of the unique skill sets they bring, not because of who we are, but what we can provide for those companies.
Well, Brandon, thank you very much for being with us today, and we hope to see you in MedTech 2025.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward to being there.
Thank you very much.